Hello, yogis, community. It is Courtney. Welcome to your Yoga Allah retreat with Grand Park. I'm really glad you're here to take care of yourself. Today, I'd like us to focus on one of the bigger concepts in yoga philosophy. And it actually, in my experience, when I remembered to practice it, is a very simple practice. But it can sound like a big idea. So the idea is that we are not the person who does our behaviors, we're the person who knows we're doing our behaviors. So if I tripped you up, let me explain. So when we do things, right, a lot of times we do them even unconsciously, right? We're just kind of moving through our days, we're moving through our yoga practice. But yoga would say that we're the person that decides how we're going to move through the world, that we're the person who looks at our choices. And we're going to do this on our mat today. So as we practice together, as we physically approach the body and physically approach the breath, I'm going to try to do my best to keep reminding us that we are in control of our actions. And this can be really powerful if we take control of more actions consciously than not. I truly believe this is our way of changing the world, making the world what we want it to be, being better people in the world, being kinder and more supportive of others. And it all starts with us. Yeah. So let's find our tall seat. So maybe sitting up on something, a pillow, a blanket. I'm sitting up on a yoga block. Grounding your hands somewhere down on your thighs. Finding a little lift of your heart. Send your shoulders away from your ears. And see if you can just start to notice your breath. So when we first start to notice the breath, we're probably first starting to notice how we're unconsciously breathing. So without shifting it, just notice if the breath is shallow, if it's full. Notice the lengths of your inhales and exhales. And then here's where we start to choose. So can you choose a breath for yourself that draws you into this moment, that gets you really present? So can you take a slower breath, a deeper breath, a more conscious breath, allowing that breath to draw you into the moment that you are in? To take up and fill the shape of the body that you are in. See if you can really start to gain control of the breath. So really starting to choose an exhale that matches the length of your inhale. From here, let's draw our hands in a gesture at the heart. Bow your chin into your chest. And I'm going to set our intention today to notice. So I'm going to keep calling us to awareness, to notice how we're showing up on our mat, to notice how we're approaching our body, our patterns, if we're forcing, if we're allowing. And then from here, let's find ourselves in standing. So we're going to start our physical movement standing today. And really choose a stand. So most of the time when we stand, we don't pay attention. See if you can choose a stand, a present stand. So feet are active, toes are spread, feet are underneath your hip bones are stacked underneath your shoulders. Find a lift of your heart. Send your arms down to the sides. Palms are active. Jaw is soft. Heart is spreading wide for whatever you're looking at. Bring in your conscious breath. From the earth, rise your arms tall. So inhale it up. Exhale, send your heart towards your thighs, bending your knees as much as you need. We're gonna pause here in a forward fold. So how can you consciously support this pose? So it's early in the practice. There's no need to have straight legs. There's no need to have straight legs ever. Let your head go, let your jaw be soft. If you don't know if you're holding your head, maybe shake it yes and no. You can grab opposite elbows. You can let your fingertips dangle. Pressing down into your feet, start to roll yourself up piece by piece. And then let's stand with awareness, consciousness in our Tadasana. So Tadasana is mountain pose. The hands reaching out to the sides are the base of the mountain. The top of your head is the peak. Intentionally pick a focus point. So gazing at eye level. We're going to move through some sun salutations. How do you want to show up to these sun salutations? So you're already here, right? Why not make the best of it? So are you showing up with presence? Are you showing up with ease? On your next inhale, rise your arms to the sky. Exhale to a forward fold. Heart reaches for your thighs. Bend your knees as much as you need. Inhale, hands on shins below your knees. Halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, heart releases for your shins. Release your head. Inhale, rise your arms tall to the sky. Exhale, draw your hands to your heart. Let's place our hands back to the sides in mountain. I'm going to ask you to really be intentional about this next movement. So do you want to awaken the body? Do you want to fill the shape with your breath? So using our conscious moments that we're focused to draw in the experience we want to have. Let your exhale fall out. Through your nose, inhale, rise your arms. Exhale, sink your heart for your thighs. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, heart reaches for the thighs, forward fold. Inhale, rise your arms tall. Exhale, draw your hands to your heart. And then hands come out to the sides, mountain pose. So from here, we're going to move on to hands and knees. So find yourself on your hands and your knees, blanket underneath the knees if you need support there. Wrists are stacked underneath your shoulders. Set it up so you have support. So really spread your fingers wide. Lift up out of your shoulders. And then from here, let your belly drop. Let your heart come through your arms, reaching your bum for the back of your head. Exhale, round in your upper back. Inhale, belly drops, heart reaches. Moving with intention, with purpose. Exhale, rounding everything up and in. One more time. Inhale, belly drops, heart rises. Exhale, everything comes up and in. Find your neutral spine. Keep your knees and your hips where they are. Walk your hands out. So arms are in a big V overhead. Forehead, top of head touches earth. Fingers are spread wide. So this is not a passive stretch. We're actively involved. We're present. Armpits are hugging in. Heart is reaching down. Shoulders are rolling away from your ears. Breathe some intentional breaths into your upper back. From here, tuck your toes, send your hips up and back, downward facing dog. So let's support the pose. So we want to press the weight forward into the knuckles, into the fingertips. So taking the weight out of the wrists, armpits are hugging in. So the arms are really active in down dog. We're not dumping into the wrists. The arms are working here. The heart is reaching for the thighs. The heels are reaching for the earth, but they never have to get there. The knees can be bent, bent, bent as much as you need. And then let's roll forward to a plank. Set it up so you can support the pose. So if the knees need to come down, the knees need to come down. Belly scooping up towards the spine, pressing into your knuckles, lifting up out of your shoulders. Head is in line with your spine, jaw is soft. Notice how you're approaching this. So if you're forcing it, if the breath is being withheld, maybe you tap your knees down today or every day. If you're dreading it, maybe you shift that pattern of the mind to be here to get stronger, to try, to challenge yourself, yeah? And then exhale, hips come up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot steps for the right hand, back foot spins flat. So we're finding ourselves in our warrior one. You might want to take the right foot out a couple inches to create some more space for your hips. Right knee stays stacked over your right ankle. Press into the outer edge of your back foot. Rise yourself up. Warrior one. Gazing over across wherever you're looking so that the gaze is steady at eye level. Shoulders melting down. Make your hands active here. So really use your arms. Send your shoulders away. Sink into your right hip. Press into outer edge of back foot. Really be here. Really choose how you want to show up to this pose. So if you're like, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this, does that really serve you? Maybe you say, I'm getting stronger. On your next exhale, hands come down, plank to your downward facing dog. Next, inhale, left foot steps for left hand. Let's set it up for success. So the left foot might come out to the left a little bit. Back foot spins flat. Left knee is bent directly over your left ankle. Press into your feet. Rise yourself up. Shoulders melt away. Gaze is steady. Arms are active here. Fingers are spread wide, almost like you're shooting beams up to the top of your ceiling. Belly scooping in towards the spine. Notice the pattern of your mind here. Is that supportive and inclusive and all the things we want to be doing to ourselves so we can do it to others? On your exhale, hands tap down, plank to your downward facing dog. 5 breaths. So you're always welcome to take a child's pose. If down dog does not feel like a resting pose, from here we're going to connect some of those movements together. So we're going to come into a little flow 3 times. Pretty simple flow, but it might get complicated in your mind. If the mind is really getting in the way, come on down to child's pose and regroup and choose a new pattern for your mind. On your inhale, right foot steps, back foot spins flat, warrior one. Exhale, hands come down, plank to your downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot steps for left hand, back foot spins flat, warrior one. Exhale, hands come down, plank to down dog. We're going to keep moving. Inhale, right foot steps, back foot spins flat, warrior one. Exhale, hands come down, back foot steps back, downward facing dog. Left foot inhale, press down, rise it up. Exhale, hands come down, plank to our downward facing dog. One more time each side. Inhale, right foot steps, warrior one. Exhale, hands come down, plank, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot steps, back foot spins flat, warrior one. Exhale, hands come down, plank, downward facing dog. Let's find a child's pose. So regather your breath. Maybe you double up your fists and place your forehead down. Collect your breath. Take control of your breath. We're going to do that little 3 vinyasa, short vinyasa flow again. I want you to intentionally choose how you're going to approach it. So instead of letting that get away with you, take control and choose how you're going to approach it. It doesn't mean that it's going to be like pure bliss or joy, but it'll probably go a little better if you focus your mind in some way so that the mind doesn't get away from you. So choose a word. Maybe you choose try. Maybe you choose joy. Maybe you choose strength. Whatever it is that might support you getting through those 3 quick flows. And if you don't want to do the flows, you can stay in child's pose and just breathe in that word you've chosen. All right, so we're finding ourselves in our down dog. Say your word to yourself. How are you approaching this short kind of burst of cardio? On your next inhale, right foot steps, back foot spins flat. Inhale up. Exhale, hands come down, plank, down dog. Use your word to help you. Inhale, left foot steps, back foot spins flat, warrior one. Exhale, hands come down, plank, down dog. Second round. Inhale, right foot steps, back foot spins flat, warrior one. Exhale, hands come down, plank, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot steps, back foot spins flat, warrior one. Exhale, hands come down, plank, downward facing dog. One more time using your word. Inhale, right foot steps, warrior one. Exhale, hands come down, plank, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot steps, back foot spins flat, warrior one. Exhale, hands come down, plank, downward facing dog. So either here or your child's pose, 5 breaths. Steady yourself. Steady your intention to be here, to try to notice how our minds work and how we can get ahead of the mind. How we are the person that chooses the patterns and we don't let the patterns choose us. From here, hands and knees. We're going to come in for a side balance. So we'll start it on the left side. So the knees are stacked underneath the hips, the wrists are stacked underneath the shoulders. You're going to take your right leg back so that the toes are in line with the middle of your right foot. Right arm comes up, so that left knee is underneath the left hip. The right arm's reaching up for the sky. Approach this with your focus. Choose your approach. So instead of getting frustrated with whatever's happening with balance, maybe you chose playful. You're just going to let this be playful. You're going to let yourself fall out of it and find some joy. Right hand comes down, right knee stacks underneath the right hip. We'll switch to the other side. So the left foot is flat on the mat. The toes of the right foot are in the arch of the left foot. Left arm reaches up. We're in our balance. Pick a gaze point. Steady your breath. Decide that you're going to choose the experience of this pose. Even if you fall, notice how you can get ahead of yourself. Tap your hand down to the earth. Find yourself back, downward facing dog. Hands walk back for the feet, forward fold. Roll yourself all the way up to a stand. Mountain pose. Excuse me. Take your feet and heels together, sink your hips back. We're finding our chair pose. So we'll pause here in chair. Choose the pattern of the mind here. So choose to just get stronger. Choose to loosen the jaw. Draw your hands to your heart. Left elbow crosses the right thigh. Palms pressed together. Heart is reaching for your palms. Steady your gaze, maybe at the floor or to the side. And then with intention, with awareness, chair pose. So notice what the mind wants to do. And then don't let your mind run away from you. Take control of your mind. Hands come to your heart. Other side, right elbow goes across left thigh. Press your prayer together. Send your heart towards your prayer. Inhale back to chair. Steady your breath, steady your gaze. Exhale to your forward fold. Feet come hips distance. Let your head, your neck go. Option to just stay in a forward fold if you want to add a shoulder thing. Interlace your hands, keep your elbows bent, and then extend your hands away from your sit bones as much as you can, as much as the shoulders allow. You can bend in your elbows. How's your breath? If you have the interlace, gently release. Walk yourself out to a downward facing dog. From here, we'll step the right foot for the right hand, staying up on the ball of the back foot. So crescent lunge, rise up. Steady your breath, steady your gaze. You can tap the left knee down if you need the support. Choose how you want to be in this pose right now. Get ahead of your mind choosing for you. Left hand comes down, right arm goes up. We're in a twist. You can put something underneath your palm, a book, a blanket, to bring the floor closer to you. Heart is reaching up for your extended right arm. Hands come inside your right foot. Let's tap the left knee down if it's not already. Coming into our lizard stretch. So we release the top of the left foot. Slide your left knee back an inch or so. Hands are inside your right foot. Maybe you take your right foot out to the right. We're getting into the upper left hip. Choose a breath that supports whatever is happening in your upper left hip. So if we're meeting tension with a tense breath, what do you think is going to happen? If we're meeting tension with an open, slow breath, what do you think might happen? So really choosing. Yoga is all about choosing our behaviors, choosing our perspective, and seeing how that influences our experience and how that influences how we show up in the world. What can you soften here? Right hand comes outside your right foot. Maybe the right toes come back underneath your knee. Tuck your back toes. Send your right foot back to meet your left. Downward facing dog. The left foot steps on the inhale. We're coming up to crescent first. So left foot might walk out to the left a little bit. Stack your left knee over your left ankle. Arms rise. You can have as much bend in your back knee as the low back asks for. You can also tap your right knee down on the earth if you need that support today. Soften, strengthen, open, choose. So choose how you are in this pose. Don't wait for it to be ever over. Choose how you want to be in it now. Choose breath, choose softness, choose strength. On your exhale, right hand comes down to the earth, a block, a blanket, whatever helps you reach earth. The left arm reaches tall to the sky. The heart is reaching for your extended left arm. Active arm. So really choose a posture. Choose how the posture looks, how the posture feels, how the mind approaches the posture. Next exhale, left hand comes down, right knee comes down, top of the right foot relaxes, and then send your right knee back so that you're not on top of your kneecap. Hands are inside your left foot. Maybe you walk the left foot out a little bit. Choosing a breath that supports whatever's happening in your upper right hip. So how can you meet the tension in your right hip? Can you meet it with kindness, with breath, with a willingness to try? Left hand comes outside your left foot. Maybe walk the left foot in a little bit. Tuck your back toes. Send your left foot back to meet your right. Downward facing dog. Walk your hands back to your feet. Press down into your feet. Roll yourself all the way up to stand. Mountain pose. Let's check in. So the hands are out to the side. The feet are grounding down. The heart is reaching tall. Shoulders reaching away from ears. Jaw is soft. Steady your gaze. We're going to come into balance. Before we even do it, choose the experience. So I'm going to choose playfulness. So that when maybe I fall out or it doesn't go so well, I have an okay attitude about it. So I'm not fighting myself all the time. Pressing down into your left leg, hands come to your hips. Right foot comes like a kickstand at the ankle. Steady your gaze. Choose your behavior, choose your approach. And then find your version of treat today. So this might be it. Maybe you even come to the wall and place your left hand at the wall. Maybe you really press into your grounded foot, your left foot. Place your right foot into your inner thigh or the calf, just not the knee. Press the leg into the foot as much as the foot is pressing into the leg. Maybe you take a different arm variation and grow your branches. Choosing our approach. Choosing the experience before the experience chooses us. So yoga says our mind is very powerful, and we do have a lot more control over the patterns we experience, over the way we move through the world than we often think we do. So I don't know about you all, but there's really not a lot we have control over right now. But we can choose how we show up to the people in our life, the way we approach our body, the way we choose to act, to converse, to try, to not. Take your hands down to your hips if they're not there already. Release yourself out of this side. Coming into the other side, the cool thing about having two sides is we have a whole new opportunity. So how do you want this side to go? Choose it. Do you want to choose strength this time? Do you want to choose effort? Whatever it is, choose a way to approach balancing on this side. Press down into your right foot. Left foot comes out like a kickstand. And then from your intention, from your choice, start to grow the pose. So if you were to sprinkle something, some water, some fertilizer over the seed that you just planted, how is it going to grow? How is your tree going to grow up from the choice that you made? Maybe choosing an arm variation, maybe extending your arms out like branches, maybe keeping your hands at prayer or at the hips, maybe placing your right hand to a wall. Keep pressing down into your extended right leg. Soften your jaw. Cue up the experience with your intention. Let that intention give you focus. To use your mind to experience this pose in a way that you choose. Take one more breath wherever you are. And then exhale to release. All right, my friends, we're gonna do legs up the wall. For those of you who know how to do it, go ahead and get into it. For those of you who are new, welcome. I'm glad you're here. You might want to grab, if you don't have a lot of wall space, I don't have a lot of wall space in my apartment. I'm using a closet door, something that someone else is not going to come through the door. We'll tuck ourselves really close in. So this is a really important part. So hip comes to the wall, shoulder comes to the wall. You should be able to lay your head against the wall. Come down to your elbows. Keep your hip connected to the wall. Cue up your shoulder to the wall, and then we'll send the legs up the wall. So we're in an L pose. Take it and choose a placement of your hands that feels like a place that they want to be. And then in my experience, and what I hear from a lot of students and other yoga teachers, this is a pose that resets our mind automatically for us. So whatever happened at the beginning of class with choosing behaviors, etc., maybe it went great, maybe you were fighting yourself, but this pose tends to reverse whatever cycles we're in. So it's an inversion, we're upside down in a way. The blood is reoxygenating in our bodies. Go ahead and close your eyes and really put yourself inside whatever this feels like. Little tingling in the legs is normal. If it's too much, you bend your knees. Place the soles of the feet where your knees just were. I'm going to be quiet for a couple minutes. And I really invite you to allow this pose to place you in the moment, to place you in your body, in your breath. About another minute here, just chiming in to remind you to allow this pose to bring you into yourself right now. From here, go ahead and start to slide your feet down to where your knees just were. And then we'll roll over to one side, make a little pillow for your head with your inner arm. Press yourself up. We'll just get into the neck a little bit. So I'm gonna scoot up a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. So we'll take our seats. Bow your chin into your chest. Let your shoulders melt down away from your ears. And then interlace your hands. Maybe put a little bit of gentle pressure on the back of your head, keeping the shoulders rolling away from your ears. If that does not feel right, you don't have to use the pressure of the hands. And then exhale, tap your fingers down. Inhale, rise your chin up. Opposite direction. So shoulders melting down, open your throat. And then we'll start to draw circles on the top of our head. So we're not doing full neck rolls. We're just kind of creating some warmth and movement in the neck. Draw your circles the other way. Find an interlace, send your interlace away from your heart, tuck your interlace in towards your left hip, left ear comes to the left shoulder. We'll breathe some space into the right side of our neck. And you can kind of play with moving your head around. So I find that if I bend my chin down, it enhances the stretch. So listen to yourself today, depending on how you slept. Interlace sends back, and then we'll tuck that interlace in towards the right hip. Right ear comes down to the right shoulder. Breathing some soft, full breaths into the left part of our neck. From here, send the interlace back, puff up your chest, create some space around your neck. And then exhale to release. Find yourself in a comfortable position on your back. So I'm gonna come up to talk us through some breaths and some finishing things. You choose a position on your back that feels comfortable. That might mean bending your knees and stacking your feet underneath your knees. So from here, we'll come into 3 big breaths together. So we're gonna do our 3 count inhale, long exhale from the mouth. Go ahead and let your breath fall out. Through your nose, inhale to your belly. Same inhale to your heart. Same inhale to the top of the head. Exhale, sigh it out. 2 more times. Inhale, breath to belly. Inhale, breath to heart. Inhale, breath to the top of your head. From your mouth, sigh it out. Inhale, breath to belly. Inhale, breath to heart. Inhale, breath to top of head. From mouth, sigh it out. Let control go of the breath. But I invite you here to choose to really be in your Shavasana pose today. So choosing to really be present in the experience of your body after breath and movement. I'll call us back in about 1 minute and 40 seconds. Just give yourself this time to be in the experience of breath and body. Starting to bring awareness back to your breath. Calling yourself back into your body. Choosing some intentional movements to start to wake yourself back up. Maybe some little wiggles or sways. Maybe you want to take the arms overhead and find yourself in a full body stretch. Rolling over to your right side, making a little pillow for your head with your inner arm. And before you get up, I invite you to choose a way that you want to approach the rest of your day. Some word that you can practice and keep coming back to for the rest of your day. And from the clarity of that word, start to press yourself up. Try to sit in that word. Place your hands in a gesture of prayer at your heart. Bow your chin into your chest. Take a full inhale and a full exhale into the experience of this word, of how you would like your mind to choose to be more often than not today. I hope this practice was helpful. I hope this philosophy concept is helpful. I find in my experience that when I choose my behaviors, when I see myself as the knower of my behaviors, the behaviors don't tend to get away from me and choose themselves. I don't always get it right, but it's a practice, yeah? Okay. The light in me acknowledges the light in all of you. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad you're a part of our community. Namaste. Thank you, yogis. Thank you, Grand Park. Take care of yourselves. Take care of others. I'll see you next time.